Have you ever asked yourself, why am I not where I thought I should be at this point in my life? Have you done everything that you thought you should and could, and yet still not completely satisfied where you're at in your life? I think it's a common problem that we all face at least once in our lives. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that we no longer get everything we're supposed to get by doing what society requires us to, all right? You can go to get through school, you can go to college, you can go to graduate school, you can get married, you can have kids, but it doesn't guarantee that you're gonna end up happy or end up even feeling like you've succeeded at your goals in life. Why is that so? Why is it that we do not feel successful despite accomplishing all our goals, or all the goals of society expects and believes that we should? The short answer is, I think we're never honest with ourselves. I think we're not honest with ourselves from the very beginning. It starts probably when we're in grade school. Some of us just don't quite fit into the system. You do everything possible to make sure you fit into the system despite knowing from the beginning that you don't. Then if you're one of the few lucky ones that actually successfully makes it out of elementary school and you decide to go on to college or university, you end up with this huge cost for something that maybe you don't have much direction in. I think nowadays, if you don't have a clear direction as to what you want to do with your life and what you want to do career-wise, I think going and spending a lot of money in a 4-year education at a university level is really a waste of time and money. And if you do get out of grad school or get out of college and end up going to grad school, most people do that to please the family expectations or maybe societal expectations of what they should accomplish. And maybe truly in your heart, you wanted to be an engineer, or you want to be an architect, or you wanted to be a singer, an artist, but yet your family pushes you and says, no, those careers are not adequate. Maybe you need to be a lawyer, you need to be a doctor. So you end up going to grad school to make them happy. And once again, you end up with this huge amount of debt. And you end up in a career that doesn't quite line up with all your goals, your beliefs, or even what you ultimately see your life. And all of this happens because we're not honest. So what's the outcome of all this? Not dishonesty, but untruthfulness, as I like to call it. The outcome is we end up with an education that we didn't necessarily choose to meet our beliefs and our ideal goals. We end up in a huge debt to pay for this education. We end up in this career that is not necessarily aligned, like I said earlier, with our beliefs and our morals and our ultimate desires in our life. And we end up resenting everyone around us for directing us in those choices. Everything seems to fall apart. Our career, our relationships, even our family dynamics. And truly it's because we weren't able to be honest about what we really want and what we really wanted to get out of life. So if we can't be honest about what we truly want, what we truly desire, how can we truly be ourselves? Well, it turns out we cannot. And we end up in this state of survival. Notice I said surviving, not thriving. The end result is, as mentioned earlier, debt, divorce, more debt from that divorce, and remorse towards parents, towards the ex-wife, towards your children, towards everybody around you. Relatively undeserved, because ultimately the one who made the choice was yourself. And yet we still will be incapable of making those long-lasting, very fruitful relationships because we still have not learned how to be honest with ourselves. So how can we fix this? Well, the fix is easy. Tell the truth. Tell the truth to yourself, your parents, your relationships, your children. Tell the truth to everybody. More importantly, be honest to yourself about everything. We're honest with ourselves from the beginning, we'd be able to make better choices in terms of our education. Maybe we don't all fit into this system that we call now our public education system. And maybe you would be able to choose some self-education that will lead you down a path towards a career, not a job. I tell my children all the time, my wish for you is that you never ever have to get a job. My wish for you is that you end up choosing a career that you love, that makes it seem easy, that you enjoy, that gives you so much joy every single day that you don't consider it work. Being honest with your family, your friends, your partners will lead to having very meaningful relationships in your life. And now we know that meaningful relationships is the single most important factor when it comes to overall joy and happiness in one's life. Happiness, or even better, joy, comes with the progressive realization of our ideal goals, which is the best definition of success I've ever found.